And next we go for 5 minutes to Ms. Stellinga from COSTI.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Anita Stellinga, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of COSTI Immigrant Services. COSTI is a community-based settlement agency that has been serving immigrants, refugees, and vulnerable individuals for over 70 years. Our mission is simple but profound: to ensure that every newcomer, regardless of language or cultural barriers, can use their skills, learn new ones, and participate fully in Canadian life. The immigrant and refugee serving sector is essential infrastructure for Canada's success. Immigration is not just a social policy, it is an economic imperative. Nation-building projects are framed as investments into the economy. So it must be with the settlement sector. The sector ensures newcomers can integrate quickly, find housing, secure employment, and contribute to Canada's prosperity. Yet despite this critical role, agencies across the country are being asked to do more with fewer resources. Funding reductions introduced by IRCC in 2024 have already had deep and measurable impacts. A forthcoming report commissioned by United Way Greater Toronto, COSTI, and the City of Toronto shows that agencies expect program closures and more than half anticipate longer wait times for clients. These cuts are not abstract. They translate into fewer language classes, fewer employment supports, and fewer pathways for newcomers to succeed. The consequences are clear. Loss of specialized programs like advanced workplace language training and timely credential and skills recognition limit newcomers' ability to work and contribute. Short-term funding cycles and sudden policy shifts destabilize the sector, forcing governments and agencies into reactive, short-sighted responses instead of strategic long-term solutions. Rolling back IRCC's 5-year funding cycle to 3 years with continued reduced funding has weakened service capacity and made planning nearly impossible. Stable, sustained core investment is critical. And to protect Canada's immigration and refugee system, the federal government must commit to investments that reflect real operational costs and accounts for client complexity. Restoring stability will enable agencies to meet client needs, maintain quality services, and ensure immigrants can contribute fully to Canada's economic and social life. In addition, as the steward of Canada's immigration system, the federal government must lead with evidence-based policy that strengthens prosperity and social cohesion, while actively countering harmful narratives that misrepresent immigration's role in Canada's success. I also want to raise 2 concerns. The new immigration plan introduces limiting access to settlement services for economic migrants. This assumes low complexity of needs and disproportionately harms women who often delay service use due to family responsibilities. And second, the exclusion of housing support for refugee claimants in the federal budget post-March 2027 signals a troubling shift away from Canada's humanitarian obligations. The discontinuation of the interim housing assistance program is of deep concern. Even with reduced numbers, asylum seekers will need housing and support, and historical data shows that up to 70% of claimants are successful and become permanent residents, making it counterproductive to delay their integration. COSTI is a leading provider of refugee shelter and support services, recognized for delivering cost-effective programs. Without renewed federal funding for shelter supports, asylum claimants will be diverted to the general shelter system, already over capacity and ill-equipped to meet their unique needs, creating systemic strain and undermining Canada's commitment to refugee protection. In closing, Canada's immigration policy cannot succeed without a strong settlement sector. Our work delivers the human capital outcomes that make economic goals possible. Strategies must prioritize growth and capacity building, not short-sighted reactive measures. A prosperous and inclusive Canada depends on leveraging the aspirations, talents, and skills that newcomers bring so that all of us can thrive, contribute fully, and shape the social and economic fabric of our country. Thank you.